Welcome back to another Keller Williams Oxygen podcast. I'm here with Paul Childs and we're going to do another deep dive into agent experience and a bit more story behind our brand. Thank you for coming, Paul.
Thank you.
So we want to sort of discuss when you started your career in property.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
So I've got no experience as a UK estate agent. My career started in 2008 when I was living in Spain. Got involved with a now good friend of mine, Simon Jukes, and started doing international property. Starting selling property in Spain, Cyprus, France.
Was that a tricky time economically?
It was not, because it was a lot of distressed assets that we were working with.
Okay.
We made more money then than we did selling other properties, and what led us to do is to move to the US property market, where we ended up buying and selling highly distressed properties from the banks, and then selling them on to investors. So we spent 6 years in the US market buying and selling property and land, where I got to know more about the US model of how it works. Mm-hmm. Our business was selling from agent to agent, so we would take a house and we would sell it to an agent in another country. So we had this global agent network. So that led on to me working for a company back in London, where we grew that into an even bigger beast before social media. Where we had about 30,000 agents on our database all around the world. So we were selling properties all around the world to agents all around the world.
Off market,
off plan, hotels, everything. It was investor focused. So we transacted in the millions of pounds of properties. We used to take developments of 120 flats, take it out to Asia, and sell it through our agent networks there. We used to do exhibitions in Singapore, London, and in China.
Wow.
So my business was selling real estate, mm-hmm. With fees that were very different to UK fees, very fast paced, but it grew. It grew into this beast, and I think that's what kind of led me post COVID to join Keller Williams. When it was approached to me, I knew the brand, I knew what it stands for, I liked the brand, and it brought me back into an already operational network of agents, which was the interest. And it's
quite rare.
And then I wanted a local business, to start off at. So I wanted to have a local business. I didn't want to be traveling. And my wife was working at the local hospital. She'd been working through COVID. So I want a local business, but I also have the ability to stimulate the international side as well, which I still have a passion for.
Yeah, and you are a real community champion, aren't you? I know that for example, Red Day, which is our sort of day of giving and charity within KW, we went to a community centre.
Yeah.
That you've been closely involved with,
Yeah.
to the food bank,
Yeah.
And you're very much involved with your local business community,
Yeah.
and their sort of efforts to
and I think this
rejuvenate.
and I think that's what joining Keller Williams has given me.
Yeah.
One thing is building the knowledge, having that local community, supporting your local community. Again, as we keep on talking, it's like, how do you start your business? You grow your business by people recognizing who you are. Mm-hmm. So we don't have huge budgets like corporate high street estate agents. So working with local businesses, they're the ones who are going to start referring business and opportunity to you. So being heavily involved in that has helped me. As people are starting to recognise me more as on a wider sort of map of Reading. But then it's about the referral net, and then with Keller Williams as a bigger picture, we start looking at the referral network from a national front.
Yeah.
To an international level. So I've got business come in before. I had a client who contacted me. His son was at school in Reading and he was living in LA, and they were moving back. He was at boarding school, and I became their buyer's agent. So I started working for them on a fee, on a very, very good fee, and they had a good budget, and I helped them source a property for them. So that came in because he knew Keller Williams, because he bought his house through Keller Williams in LA.
And actually, buying agency is something that really does come to us through our Keller Williams network,
Yeah.
because it's a lot more common
Yeah.
in other countries to work with an agent to help you secure a purchase than in the UK.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience for agents to take part in and learn more about.
Yeah. In other countries, it's very, very common for agents to work together. Very, very common that agents can access anyone else's stock because they share fees. They share fees because the fees are slightly higher in those countries. So I was in Lisbon in September went to Lisbon and went to a little town called Cascais, which is beautiful. Really wanted to sell property there or promote it. I looked on my intranet, the Keller Williams command. I found the market centres. I went to the market centres and said hello, made contacts, and now I've got contacts in those offices that if I get someone who wants to buy a house in Lisbon, I can refer business and make money. It's that simple.
Yeah.
They'll do all the heavy lifting. I just make an introduction, and there's a natural referral fee within that. Countries like even Spain, we get loads of people looking at that now. So what we're saying is you having a business and running your own business, you're building your database. Now all these people, yes, they're going to buy and sell houses locally, but they might want to buy a house abroad. They might know someone who wants to buy a house in Marbella, Lisbon, Miami. We can facilitate that, and I think the way the world is, all the information is available online. You can be a hyperlocal agent. You can be the best hyperlocal angel buying and selling property. But you can also sell in a country that you're passionate about, that you love.
I agree. I think the key to that is actually within our network, we hold ourselves to account to our culture rules, our culture rules. Yeah. And so we know that when we're connecting with other Keller Williams agents, we are connecting with quality agents that we know are delivering the same level of service that we deliver to our clients. So there's a lot of trust that we are able to build once we've met these agents.
100%.
Had conversations with them.
100%. And I think you just got to build trust and build knowledge. And like I was saying previously, people refer business to me because they know I deliver and I'll help them. We do this collaboratively. This network is huge. I mean, you're going to Atlanta in February to our family reunion, where there's going to be 15,000 Keller Williams agents in a room for 4 days, or maybe more, 15, 20,000. That's how big it is. Yeah. That's how big the machine is, and the reason why we go there is we form new collaborations, new contacts. They get to know who you are. Agents all around the world, especially in America, they love the English, and they love meeting the English agents, and they love the culture, and it's really refreshing when people go, because those partnerships you make will grow.
And we bring them back to the market centre, right? So not everyone's going to Atlanta, not everyone's fortunate enough this year, but we create our own friendships within the network. Yeah. And then, for example, we had a market centre day where Lena from Portugal did come to our market centre day because she was in the UK, and we had a great day with her, and she sort of introduced us to her market centre on a wider level. So it's super interesting, isn't it?
It's amazing, and we're not estate agents. We're real estate specialists. We're people say, well, like a realtor, like a US realtor. We go beyond just selling bricks and mortar. We can sell anywhere in the world, any type of property. Yeah. It really opens the opportunity to open up new income streams of your business, but it's not something you have to invest heavily into. You're already paid into that. You're already part of the network. Yeah,
it's all there for you on command.
All there for you. We got a bit of software. You go on there, you find the country you're looking for, you click a button, you have an email address. You email that person, you say, I've got a client, or I'm interested in selling property in your country. Would you work with me? And because of the community, because of the way Keller works, there's a natural referral fee in there. You don't have to be awkward and uncomfortable about it. Yeah. You know that you will be looked after, because that's on a bigger global level. That's how they do business.
There's trust there, because again, we hold ourselves to the same standards.
And I'm going to look to go back into international. I went to Norway last year
Yeah.
to look at some ski lodges, to
Those
sort
were
of look at
amazing.
that. I brought them back to the UK, and then I started speaking to market centres in. The client wanted to get enter into Germany, so I was right. We've got an office in Germany, so I started speaking to them. You know, there's just so many. It's exciting.
It's opportunity.
But it's also exciting. You know, you're not. You know, the day of like saying, someone who wants to come out of high street, and come into the self-employed model. You know, they get the support, but they get a hell of a lot more, because obviously they're on a global platform now. You know, they're feeling that if they came into this business and they'll go, you know, it'd be like working in the high street office. It's not, because one day you could be selling one of your houses, but the next day you could be speaking to someone in another country, going, actually, you know, or that person's phoning you going, I've got a client, I'm trying to sell the house, or they want to move to England, and you're the nearest Keller Williams agent. Can you help me?
I will confess, because obviously my background is on the high street and agency.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'm so used to all these deals passing my desk in all of our WhatsApp groups, and
Yeah.
okay, what's this available?
Yeah.
If somebody had brought that to my desk in the high street, I'm embarrassed to say
Yeah.
that I would have gone, I don't have time
got
to
time to do
service that. I don't, like, what are you giving me?
Yeah.
And I really was so close-minded.
Yeah. But it's different. It's a different. It's how do I explain? It's a different environment, you know, because it's quite big. And we were talking. We've got an office in Singapore, and I know you were speaking with the OP there, and I'm actually speaking to him now because he's got a client with a portfolio to sell, and I can potentially help him. So, you know, that's what's happening, and that's the thing. So now you're getting the opportunities. You're farming them out.
Yeah.
And creating opportunity and wealth for people within Keller Williams.
I think the key word here is opportunity.
It's opportunity.
And, you know, opportunity is everywhere. You've just got to look for it. So thank you for bringing that back to our attention.
Pleasure.
I hope you found value in this conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please keep your eyes open for more videos and content from Keller Williams Oxygen.